The areas covered in networks and the internet are as displayed, and we do hope you enjoy it. Looking now at networks. So a network is two or more ICT devices that are connected to each other. So if you've been on campus or if you've been in an office, you'll see that there is more than one computer that are interlinked next to each other. So in a home and an office network, it's often referred to as a local area network, which is abbreviated to LAN. Just keep in mind in your test, everyone, it may ask you what defines the LAN. So an LAN is a local area network. This is a set of computers that have been connected through either a router or a switch, so that the data flows between the devices that are connected to each other, and also the internet that it goes outwards from the local area network to. So I'm sure we're all familiar, I won't patronise you too much in regards to this, but the internet, which is our global network of all linked ICT devices that allows people from all over the world with a electronic device to communicate and share information. The internet does work the same way as LAN, but it works on a much larger scale. So local area networks can discuss with other local area networks, or if a device is in a separate entity on its own too. So just a couple of things to keep in mind, particularly in your tests if it's asking you to define or abbreviate what it means. To connect to the internet, you've got ISP or Wi-Fi, internet service provider. So we've got some areas in terms of the bandwidth. So 1 kilobit is equal to 1,000 bits per second. You've got your megabits, and also you've got the largest, which is your gigabits, just there, which is 1 billion bits per second. Keep it in mind that those going into your test may ask you which one's the biggest. So kilobits being your smallest, and gigabits being your largest in terms of your bandwidth. Also, connecting a computer to a Wi-Fi network. This will highly come up on your test. So I'm not actually connected to one at the moment, so I don't want to give in terms of a demonstration, but show you from the descriptions just here. So at the bottom right hand corner you should see a wireless network, which you should see the icon just here, going by that point, and what it's got is all the lists that are available to you are SSID, so that's service set identifiers list. If that ever comes to your test, what is an SSID? It's a service set identifier. You'll notice the difference between a wireless and a wired connection. So your wired connection is like a monitor with a little plug to the left hand side, and allows you to connect to local. It's just all next to your notification area at the bottom right hand side, and you've also got your Wi-Fi network there too. Just a point, sorry, just going into too much detail. You've got a few of the communication options online, so like for chat rooms, instant messaging, and email, all explained in more detail. So if you want to do a bit of revision, you can go to these slides and look at it. The one that I particularly want to really emphasize though is VoIP, which is Voice over Internet Protocol. So if you ever use Skype, Voice over Internet Protocol is the correct term for it. That will highlight come up to your test. So what that means is that you're making a phone call over the internet, or you're using a webcam to do a video call. It's actually called Voice over Internet Protocol. So that is the correct terminology for that. So just to be aware, if you do see it, what does VoIP mean? It means Voice over Internet Protocol. We've also got safe and proper practice, and not going into too much details here, but in terms of setting a password for all ICT devices, make sure that you're using a mixture of capital letters, small letters, numbers, symbols, for example. So if you're asking your test which one is the most suitable password, you'd look at the one that's got a mixture of different symbols, words, text, and numbers too, so it's more difficult for individuals to go. Don't forget as well, you've also got your data protection laws that protect individuals' rights of privacy, so that's personal information that you kept being safe and secure at all times. And that also leads as well to copyright laws too. So if you are getting into anything after you've actually had that password, make sure that you are above, sorry, I wouldn't say above the law, working within the law, so that you're not altering any original work, and you have permission to do that from the owner too. Just briefly, just another one, you may be asked in your test to describe a few what matches up with the correct computer viruses. The four big ones in the syllabus are the adware, so that's the type of software that always pops up annoyingly after you've went to a website. Spyware, which is a virus that will sit on your computer, hides away, but it's collecting personal information. So, for instance, your most recent websites and what you like and things, and distributing it back to another individual. Computer worms, a software that damages files on your computer, but it's travelled via email. So if you open an email that's got a worm, it's going to go into your computer, damage files and folders, but it could be copied onto another email and sent by there. So it's like chain mail. And then finally, a Trojan. A Trojan is a really important one because it looks like a normal application or a normal file, but it's actually misleading. And when opened, it could be harmless. It could attack documents, images, spreadsheets, Word, any documents or files that you've got on a computer. So really important. But to ensure that you're protected from that, antivirus software needs to be installed on your computer. There are a host of antivirus softwares, Norton, McAfee, even AVG, which is ones that a lot of people are using. And you can install those onto your computer, but in your test you may be asked to select where you would go to check using a antivirus software, where you would go to check how to scan for any viruses on your computer. So the example here with Windows Defender, you would just click the Scan Now button just there, and it would go and do a check on your computer hard drive or any peripherals or anything that's attached to it to see if there is any viruses. And if there is, it would come up and it would prompt that there needs to be action taken for there too. Another really strong tool using computers, particularly Windows 10, is the built-in firewall. So firewall runs when you start the computer, and you can also administer it using the settings and through network and internet. What a firewall essentially does, it works like a security guard. So we've got traffic that comes in and out of a computer. What it does is it will stand and look at any traffic that's coming in, and it will say you can come onto this person's computer or you can't. And you can administer what the firewall allows in and what it allows not. So at the moment you'll see that it allows the domain networks, but it doesn't allow any private networks or any guest or public networks, but they could be tailored to what you need by using the advanced firewall settings too. So just keep in mind in your test, it may ask you what a firewall is and what its purpose, and how to also go by getting there and actually administering it too.